What's up? What's up?
What it do, Bean Crew? It's your boy Savon Thomas, back with another episode of Coffee and Comments. And today we're going to review the show Imposters. And this is on Netflix. It should still be available on Netflix to watch. I did watch this probably about 4 months ago, 5 months ago maybe. But it's a very good show. It's not a Netflix original. I feel like every time you go on Netflix, everything you scroll through is just Netflix original shows, which is nothing wrong with that. I mean, Netflix has been putting out some good content. I think it's more of a quantity versus quality. Like, there's some good shows in there and movies in there, but sometimes you're just like, this is just, you just guys are putting stuff out. But this one they brought in, I think it was like a Bravo show or something like that. But it's called Imposters, and it's the story of a girl who swindles people for, I guess you call them the mafia or some type of like undercover organization. They call him the doctor in the show. But this girl dates guys. She's like she has a target. She gets in with the target, gets the target to fall in love with them within, I mean, weeks, if not months, but a few weeks, maybe a couple months, and gets them to marry them. And then after being married, siphons out all the accounts and steals the money. And then deuces, you never know who she is, right? And so that's how the first episode starts off. I mean, I'm not revealing anything. It's literally 2 seasons worth of episodes. I think it's like 14 or 15 episodes per. But it starts off with this dude who gets married to this girl, same girl I'm talking about, and she steals all his money. And he basically gets a video saying that, hey, you're not gonna find me, all this other stuff. And he goes into this depression, but then knock on the door, he gets a guy that comes knocking on his door trying to find the same girl, and those 2 guys go on a journey of finding this girl and getting redemption for what she's done, because she's done this to a lot of people. Again, she's not by herself. She has a network of people that she's working with to give her new identities, that pay her, that do different things. She's doing this for a while, and so it tells a story from both perspectives of the guys, the 2 dudes, and how they're going about trying to find this girl. And then from the girl's perspective, her meeting new people and taking money, and her working with her team. And so it's a very interesting story. I really enjoyed it. It's listed as a comedy, and there are a lot of funny parts within the show, but I found it interesting because it's like I'm not saying this happens all the time, but I'm 100% sure there's a world where people are, I mean, not just scamming people, but like doing stuff like this. Like, the mafia is a real thing. Like people do criminal activity on a regular basis. I know in our everyday lives we don't think about that. Maybe just on a TV show or something like that, and we're looking at it, we're like, man, that's kind of wild. But this stuff, not like this, but stuff like this, you know what I'm saying? Like, stuff like this happens every single day. We just don't know about it, right? So it's interesting to see this show, because I'm like, man, this is wild. Like, imagine that happened to you. Like, imagine meeting a girl, or if you're a girl, meeting a guy, or whatever you want to say. And that person, you fall in love with them, you get married, and they just take you for everything. Like, they take all your credit cards, they take all your money from your accounts, they take everything from you, and they just leave you with nothing. And how devastated you would be. And it's just wild to think about from that perspective of the person dealing with that, but then from a perspective of the person doing it, of how heartless you have to be to have somebody fall in love with you, knowing that you're about to do all this stuff to them. Like, she legit gets them to fall in love with them, and then she actually ends up dealing with a situation where she ends up loving the person she's in love with and having to deal with that. That's not really a spoiler, but there is down the line that she does actually get feelings involved. And she has to deal with that situation. So there's a lot of twists and turns. Like, even with the end, you're like, wow, I didn't expect that. It was like, when I watched it, I'm like, that's an interesting turn. And so the whole time I'm watching this, and I'm like, that's good. This is good. So I enjoyed the show. It's a very good show. It wasn't like one of the ones I like search for this. I always watch like thriller, mystery type shows. And this popped up on there, even though it's listed as like a dark comedy. It popped up on like mystery thriller type deal. So it's pretty interesting. It's funny. There's some good scenes to talk about, like the government and FBI and stuff like that. I gave this a 7.6 out of 10. Probably, actually, you know what? I'm gonna give this a 7.7 out of 10, just because I enjoy it a lot. It's not yet an 8, but it is a very good show. So check it out. Let me know your thoughts. If it's still on Netflix, you can watch it on Netflix. If it's not, I'm sorry. You gotta find it somewhere else. But that's my review of the show Imposters. Thanks for tuning in. Coffee and comments.